justice.
Yes, and people have to realize,
Like that.
they got to realize too, the importance of, even with her case too, of them being qualified immunity in that area. When families stick into the fight, and people got to realize too, when it comes to civil lawsuits, people love to say, oh, it's blood money. No, it's setting precedents for other cases that are behind these cases, so you can prove a point. So it's very important her family sat in the fight and is stuck in the fight. So that we realize that you can be qualified immunity. You got to stick in the fight. You got to be persistent and consistent in order to be qualified immunity. Your family actually did. You guys did it.
Yeah, and exactly what you're saying. Also, you know, there's so many families that are going to experience those times when they're trying to force us to take a settlement, force us to just drop it, scare us out of it. It's happening so much, you know, and I understand it's a scary place for families to be. I knew with my brother's case specifically, and the evidence we have, once it's actually pulled out, you know, it's there. The whole world. Yes. And you know, I feel bad for families if we don't have the evidence, if we don't have the videos, if there were no witnesses. I'm thankful that we eventually, you know, it took years to get what we got, but I am thankful that we know the truth, because it's what I always knew, but I didn't have the physical evidence, and now we do. So I tell families, you know, fight it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roxane Johnson. My son's name is Jamal Byrd. He was killed by DC Metropolitan Police, October 1st, 2019. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, LaToya. Good evening, LaToya.
Hey, good evening, you guys. I am LaToya Benton, the mother of Xavier Hill. Xavier was killed at the age of 18 by 2 Virginia State Troopers, January 9, 2021. I'm honored tonight to be joined by Miss Anita. You want to go and get a brief intro to yourself, please?
You on mute. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, my name is Anita Wills, and my grandson, my oldest grandson, Kerry Baxter Jr, was 19 years old when he was lured to a park in East Oakland, and 2 policemen were called, and they beat him up, chased him around the corner, and shot him in the back. And his case immediately went cold and has remained cold to this day, even with 2 witnesses. And the witness told us what happened, told us who these people were and why they were there. And so I'm here on behalf of my murdered grandson, Kerry Baxter Jr.
Now, when you say the case immediately went cold, what do you mean? Like, what I didn't hear you say. When did this happen again?
January the 16th, 2011. The people investigating are the ones that killed him, the police department. And it immediately went cold. And whenever I pushed for it, they have gone to the family. They have gone to his mother and told her that I was impeding their investigation so that she would come after me. And that is what they do in our community. They turn us against each other. And the 2 people, the 2 witnesses, one of them was an ex-girlfriend. He had broke up with her, and she went to the house and begged him to take her to that place where she, you know, just take us down there, her and her friend. And then when they got down there, she told us her friend got on the phone, and these 2 men, black men dressed in black, came and beat Kerry up. They broke his jaw. His facial bones were broken, even in his casket. Ran after him, chased him. It was on a Sunday night. They chased him in front of a church, and they killed him. He died in front of San Antonio Church in East Oakland, California. And the neighbors said that the only people around him were the police. They wouldn't even let the priest from the church give him last rites. The priest told us the police would not let him near the body to give my grandson last rites. Nor, there was like 3 three pastors there. There's 3 churches on that block, and the 2 other pastors came, and they were all asking to give him last rites to pray over him as he was dying. And the Oakland police said no. So I'm one of those people. There is no video. There are witnesses. The neighbors saw a black man in black chasing my grandson. And the police told me that he was killed by a drive-by shooter. Even after the witnesses, the girl that took him down there, told us that they had called. No, not that she had called, but her other friend had called. And these 2, policemen came, beat him up and chased him around the corner. And
so the police never, I guess the part I'm a little bit confused about is that, so the police never took, I guess, actual responsibility for Kerry's death. Am I right or wrong?
Right. They have not taken any responsibility. In fact, what they did was put out on the streets to these people they have on the streets, many of them which are informants. So when I'm out protesting with other people, then they're putting out there, oh, he was killed by a drive-by shooter. When I know from the neighbor's description, there was someone chasing him and he was shot center mass in the back.
This reminds me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but because I think part of it, when we hear stories like this, people, they tend to say, that's not true, but
right.
This reminds me of another case. I'm not sure if you heard of her. Her name was LaToya Harris. LaToya was killed 2021, same year Xavier was killed. Another guy was killed right beside LaToya named Donovan Lynch. The police account for his death, but not for LaToya's death. They got killed literally right beside each other. So it's almost like this happens more often than what we think it happens. We just want, so we see the news create a certain narrative, we roll with that, and not what the evidence presents itself as.
And the people in the community don't want to believe that the police conspired to kill. Right. And they were harassing my grandson. The reason he was being harassed is because he is the namesake of my son, who they arrested. My son was taken from him when he was 10 years old and put in prison for something he did not do by the Oakland Police, the same one that's supposed to be investigating the murder of my grandson. And they were harassing me because I'm blogging about them lying and what they did to my son.
Covering up.
Huh?
Covering up.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I was saying doing the cover up.
Yeah. And so my son is, he has, him and my grandson were very close. That's his namesake. They're both Kerry Baxter, Senior and Junior. That was his heart. They took him away, and then they harassed little Kerry, who was 10. And Kerry told me, little Kerry, he said, Grandma, they're gonna kill me. I said, what do you mean? No, the police, they already told me. He said, they come down by my other grandmothers and they put their fingers up to my head and shoot, and then they laughed. Then they said, oh, you're Kerry Baxter Senior's son. And they have been doing that. And I even took him out, to live with me, because I live in I don't live in Oakland. I live outside of Oakland. So I had him with me, for a whole semester to make sure he went to school and everything. And then he went back to his mother's. And then he would come back and stay with me. The last time he stayed with me, he was like 17. And he stayed with me until he turned 18. And he went back to his mother's. And the next time I saw him, he didn't even look like himself. He said, Grandma, the police harassed me. I can't even get a job. I can't go out. They took my ID. He's talking about the Oakland Police. And his mother, I told her, and she said, oh, they just can't find nothing on him. They just messing around with him. But he was really seriously depressed when I saw him the last time.
Mhm.
And the next time I saw him, he was in a coffin.
Mhm.
And he had told me, they're going to kill me, Grandma. And I told him, so we were talking about him going to college, which he was supposed to do. And he had graduated from high school and he was supposed to go to college, but he never, he didn't want to leave his mother and his brothers. But I told him, I says, okay, we're going to, get you in college. Your cousin is in college in Florida. We're going to send you to Florida. You don't have no kids. You're free. You can go wherever you want. And the cousin was there and he said, come on. He said, I'm going to take you, because we can get you in college in Florida.
Take care of him there.
But
So
he
tell
was-
me this here. Tell me this. When it comes to his case, because you said the case went cold, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys tried to anything, to prove that the police did kill Kerry? Have you done anything as far as that is concerned?
I went and I filed a complaint with the Police Review Board in 2012.
Okay.
And they did a report. And they also did a report about my son, who I said was wrongfully convicted. This is the Oakland Police Review Board. And they closed the report and said, we can't give you a copy. They just closed it.
Why not? Why couldn't I give you a copy? Why couldn't I give you a copy?
They said because of the police, peace officers' Bill of Rights. So why did they even do an investigation if you're going to do it and not give me a copy of the report? The same thing with the IAD. They have a report about what happened. And that guy, the police officer who was on the head of the case, the one who arrested my son, and then the one who they put on, as the investigator of my grandson's murder, he resigned right after they closed the report. He left the police force and then, became an inspector with the DA's office. But I was complaining about him because that dude had been harassing me, listening in on my phone, going, talking to my landlord. I don't even live in Oakland. I live outside of Oakland. What are you doing all that for? Just because I'm blogging or I'm talking about my son being innocent, and then you're harassing my grandson. And they were harassing the mother, telling her they were going to take the kids away because, she wasn't cooperating with them. And she was scared that her kids would be put in foster care. So they're harassing her, and they're complicit. They conspire to come after certain people in the area. They went after my son and wanted him to be an informant. And he told them no. And so they continued to harass him. We would pick him up in the streets, arrest him, hold him for 72 hours and make it impossible for him to keep a job, And, this is life in Oakland, in the Bay Area. In fact, because the sheriffs where I live, they were harassing me too. And talking, I'd be riding down the street and they would be honking their horns and laughing and stuff. They were harassing me too.
I want to say, I
what they do.
don't think it was Oakland. I don't think it was California. I read today there was another shooting that was out there this morning, I think at 5 a.m. They didn't reach the person's name. If I'm not mistaken, they said it was 20 shootings, so officer involved shootings so far in Oakland this year. 20.
And none of the officers, none of the DA that they had before, her name was Nancy O'Malley. She arrested, I think, 2 officers. She was in office since like 2009 or something, until she just, she's out of office as of 2023. But now the new DA, who is a sister, the first Black DA in our county, they're recalling her. And she's only been in office since 2023. So they're trying to stop her from investigating the police. They don't want anybody that's going to investigate the police or open up cold cases, because they're starting to open up the cold cases. And I have a lot of faith in her that she will open up my son's case, you know,
Or your
my grandson's case. Yeah.
So have you made a formal request to have her open your grandson's case, or how?
Yeah. I mean, I have written to her and I
Yeah.
have talked to her because I met her in person. I mean, I supported her when she was running for the office. And I told her about my son and I told her about my grandson. And I'm also a part of Mothers Against Police Brutality, you know. I feel like if I just sit in my house, then I'm a sitting duck. But if I come out and talk about it, then I have, you know, they're not likely to, you know, come after me. But they have harassed my grandson who lives with me, who is my other grandson's brother. They pick him up and take him to the county jail and drop him off. You know, during COVID, they were picking him up and wouldn't even put a mask on it. Just, you know, and I asked him, I said, did they have masks on? He was, yeah. I said, did they give you a mask? No.
So like you've been traumatized over and over again by the same police department.
Right.
So tell me this, as far as the community is concerned, because like you said, the case is a cold case right now. You have the DA who is a new DA.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you watched. We had Oscar was on the show a couple little months ago. It's kind of the same thing with this case, you know, was the reapproach again with the same DA. And again, even if that DA says no, you know, you can still go again to the DA behind that one and still approach him again.
Right.
So what can we as a community do to help you guys out as far as pushing that, you know, agenda forward?
What I've done, what I need help with is we went to the Attorney General and told him, and you know, we asked him for help because, and this was before Pamela, you know, the new DA came in. This was when O'Malley was DA. This was when OPD, you know, was doing what they're doing. And he said, I can't take the case, but I'll work with the Oakland Police Department. That's after I told him what I just told you. And he's actually from here. You know, he actually came up in Oakland and became, you know, he's the Attorney General. He was the appointed Attorney General. But I know him from the community, you know, and he, you know, to me, these people are afraid of the police department. It's like the biggest gang in the country, and everybody is afraid. The community is afraid, you know, and the only one, you know, I'm speaking out because that's all I have left. That's all I have left. You know, and the fact, seeing my grandson in that casket with his face so messed up, they couldn't even fix it. That just broke me. That just tore me down. And my son couldn't even be there for his grandson at his funeral. You know, he's still in prison, you know, and they just, they are like, they are being shored up by the government because they have that peace officer Bill of Rights. They got the Bill of Rights, and they talk about, oh, the Supreme Court. We're gonna, you know, go to the Supreme Court. That Supreme Court, they live underneath of the police. The police are the ones that are keeping all these people in power, you know, and keeping us oppressed.
It's a cycle.
It is. It is. And now, because of, you know, when Black Lives Matter came out, they are blaming the crime on Black Lives Matter and all of our organizations that are here for civil rights. They're not blaming any crimes on the KKK or the Proud Boys or none of them. It's all the Black Lives Matters, because how dare they stand up and fight back against the system. Anytime we stand up and fight back against the system, they blame us. Yeah. So they're allowing, you know, all kind of crimes, or either, I don't think it's any more crimes than it was as far as stealing and stuff like that. But every time there's something going on, they blame it on the sister, the Black DA, Pamela Price. Even though the police are the one not arresting, the police are the ones collecting money and not on the streets. They're blaming everything on our progressive African-American DA. And the DA before her, the Caucasian woman, they blame nothing on. 70 Black and brown inmates at Santa Rita jail, the county jail, have died in custody since 2014. No one has been arrested, even though there's a video of DeJuan Armstrong being asphyxiated. There's a YouTube video of it. Then there's another video of another young man who was he would have mental health issues and he died in the cell, and they left him in the cell dead for a couple of weeks. And there's a video of that. But none of them have been arrested. None.
I think part of what we can do as a community is maybe help apply that pressure, you know, so that the DA who is currently in office right now will possibly look into Kerry's case. Is that support the community can offer from our end?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like something that can be helpful. Yeah.
Do you have the information for the DA district attorney in that part of California, in Oakland, or?
Yeah.
Okay, because we do, our audience, we encourage them to be about action. And so
Right.
email, if we can call the district attorney or the prosecutor who's responsible for investigating the case, and encourage to open the case, right? So that we can see what would happen, because yeah, we need to, as LaToya says, you know, we need to get loud and apply pressure to them and let them know. And if we have a you know, someone who is favorable, DA Pamela Price, Alameda County, is that who?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. If someone who's favorable, then perhaps, you know, we've had a guest, Oscar Rubina, who was able to get his case reopened by requesting it when there was a new district attorney elected by the people. And
Right.
so perhaps that's something that we can do in your case. You know,
Yeah.
we have to use all the tools. We always talk about using all the tools. So not just, you know, one and then don't you know, like they want us to go away, but
Right.
we're not going away. We not.
Yeah.
And even like she said too as well, I like how she said too that, like you said all the time, we gotta register and vote.
Yeah.
She said herself, the DA who's in office right now, she actually supported that DA while she was campaigning to get into the
Right.
city she's in right now. So we have to, like again, like Roxane just said, utilize all the tools in the toolbox. So if you're supporting these DAs and they like ask for donations and stuff to run for office, to get into campaign and get into office, again, hold them accountable. You know, don't let them forget, you know, who you are as a person and what happened to your family member. Now I want to just do a couple of call and ask you guys real fast before we do wrap up, and it's about 9:30 here. Okay, thanks. Okay, real fast. As we say all the time, the podcast is about, you know, action and
Right.
moving forward. That's what we're about, action. Mel, do you could real fast the first flyer if you're ready, please. All right, so y'all, we have had Nikki on here before about her cousin William Green. If I'm not mistaken, court is November 27th. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but court is on November 27th. These flyers will also be posted onto our Facebook page, our Instagram pages as well. The
Okay.
flyers are not just to look at and read. It's called a call to action for a reason. My mom would always say to us, people make time for what they want. So please be sure to call in to this office as well. Like I said, court is on November the 27th in Prince George's County. if you're in that area, please come out, support the families, support. Next slide, Mel, if you have it ready, please. All right, we also have Fred Cox, court be coming up December the 4th, 2023. It's gonna be down in North Carolina. You can also go on Facebook and on Instagram as well to follow Fred's story. Also, his mom, Tanika Shannon, follow the story in there as well. But the main thing is don't just follow the stories, you guys. A lot of injustices happen in empty courthouses. So please, if you can make this time, please come out and support this family in court as well. On December the 4th, 2023.
Yes.
And can I just add that, you know, sometimes we think that, we are thinking about our loved ones. I lost a son, LaToya lost a son, Miss Anita lost a grandson. But the truth of the matter is, if one of us gets justice, all of us get
All
justice.
of us get justice. Yeah.
Right. So it's not just about my personal fight,
Right.
it's about our collective fight. So
Yes.
we try to get a different mindset about this, that I want justice for my personal fight, but I also want justice for everyone's fight. Everyone that deserves to have accountability for what happened to their loved one. Right. And so when we're saying, help out Fred Cox's family members, right?
Yeah.
Or help out William Green's family members, or help out Miss Anita's family members. We're doing it as a collective because we understand that when we all come in one voice, we are loud and they cannot ignore us.
Right.
So people can pack courtrooms, make phone calls, do emails, register and vote. Right.
Yes.
The more power we have. The reason why people don't want you to vote is because they don't want you to participate in this thing called power.
Right.
Right. So all the time they say one band, one sound, right? So
Yes.
that's really what it is. It's one band, one sound. We gotta still be on the exact same tunnel vision path, you guys. So we're gonna if you have a call to action, we can share. Please send it to us. We can always make sure that we're sharing the call to actions as well. But like I said too, it's not just to share the call to actions, it's to really pack the courthouse. Like seriously, we can't make it. Since a college kid can do so, but the whole objective is to pack the courthouse. All right, Mel, the last event we want to share with you guys. I am pleased and proud to announce that Life After the Impact will actually have a live event coming up on November the 14th. We'll be live at Busboy and Poets in Washington, D.C. We do have limited seating. So we have the event on Eventbrite. You can go ahead and get your tickets there. It's absolutely free, no charge for us. We want to have some important discussions in person about how we can move forward in the fight for justice. So if you're in the DC area or the funny to be in DC area, please come out and join us on November the 14th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Busboy and Poets in Washington, D.C. for a live conversation about the fight for justice and where do we go next.
Yes. Can I share this with you? My book?
Oh, yes, please. Absolutely.
Oh,
I don't think you can see it that well.
You
but-
can
It looks a little blurry.
yeah, you're gonna have to take your phone your screen off or blur it for us to see the title and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's,
you can't see it.
yeah, it's A Nation of Flaws, Just Us in the Homeland.
A Nation of Flaws, Just Us in the Homeland.
Yes, and
Anita,
when I wrote the book, it was in 2014 after Michael Brown Jr. was killed. And we were there when they were shooting. You know, when the police came after us, we were peacefully demonstrating. So we were,
thank you.
yes. And when I got back home, I was so depressed that I didn't go out, but I was sitting down and I said, I'm going to write. So I wrote and I included some of the people that were murdered back then, and including Oscar Grant and Michael Brown Jr. and some of those that I knew of. And I put it in this book. And also I wanted to write the history of policing in the United States. And in the back, I wrote about the serial killers and that are mostly white males who are all, the most notorious ones get a documentary. Their families get paid. They do documentaries on them. And they do very little on, when our children are murdered, they do nothing. So I have, I wrote stories about Sandra, I've made sure to include Sandra Bland. I met her mother. I met Eric Garner's mother. I have been, and many of the mothers, I have sat with them and marched with them, so it's been a very cathartic thing for me to participate and to join with you guys who are going through what I'm going through.
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely strength in numbers. So, pick up Ms. Anita Willis's book and take a look at it. Knowledge is also power. The more we educate ourselves about what's going on, what the system is really about. We would love to say that you're the first guest that told us about police corruption, but that ain't. Fact is, police corruption is just as a part of the system as the system.
Yeah.
Right.
And the media here, I don't know what it's like. They are probably similar.
Oh, yeah.
But all they talk about is there's not enough police. That's what they support, more policing. Right. So it's always about crime on the media.
I think that Ms. Anita, part of it is that we have this mindset of the here and there thing, right? It's the same across. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say in Alaska, I don't care if you say in Hawaii, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, depending on where we're at, we have this mindset. We think that's only going on in our area. No, it's literally, we probably had a guest on this show since the beginning of January from, I think, different parts of the US, from West Coast to the East Coast. It's the same exact story.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over again. It's a different name each week, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But they only they push it because we have an Asian mayor. Oakland has an Asian mayor, and San Francisco has a sister that's a mayor. So they really go into San Francisco about the crime in San Francisco. And when you go there, you can walk down the streets and where's all the crime they're talking about?
Try to change the narrative.
Yeah, they've always had homeless people. We've always had it since I've been, an adult. There's been homeless people. Yeah. But now it's now that we have these Black folks who are in office, who are getting power, all of a sudden it's like all that crime. We need some more conservatives in here. We need more with the right color.
Well, we know those things haven't changed, but we're not going to let those things distract us.
Right.
We're going to keep on fighting. The people who came before us had bigger obstacles than
we they did. Yes.
Right? And so if they were able to overcome some of those obstacles to get victory, we certainly have the ability to do the same thing. So
yeah, because we're, we move because of the ancestors.
Right.
They died to protect, and they're,
That's right. That's right.
Why we're here.
So I'm going to share the link to the book. Someone asked for the link to your book. We'll put that here in the chat as well. And like I said again, with the cases, cold cases, even though it's not currently in the news or not, doesn't matter. It's still the cases on the books that still reopen, right? We don't stop fighting for justice. So we thank you so very much for joining us tonight. Roxane, you want to watch us tonight?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you, and keep fighting.
Yes. We're gonna be in person. I'm all over the place.
Okay. It's nice to meet you virtually.
Thank you.
To our audience tonight, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We'll keep fighting. We're not gonna quit. We're not gonna let up. We ain't shutting up. We're gonna keep fighting until next time. This has been Life After the Impact.
Good night, guys. How long was that DA? How long was he in office when this happened to Ruben?
He's been in the office 52 years.
52 years. 52 years.
He was connected in the way that he had power for so long. 52, and power can corrupt people, and absolute power can absolutely corrupt you, right?
Yes.
You have unfettered power for a long period of time. You just don't feel like you got to do nothing but sit up and just be powerful, right? But the thing which really strikes me about your story is that when the DA changed, right, we had to use all the tools in the tool. Straight up, we can vote in people who see our way. We got to hold people accountable. When we can't hold them accountable, we vote. If they don't want to be accountable, vote their asses out and vote somebody in who will do what we want them to do. We have that power, y'all. And what we're hearing from this evening is Oscar. Mr. Oscar is using his power for his family and to get justice for his son.